Hello and welcome to Tuesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and I think what will be one of the great pleasures in life. We're going to be having a look at a puzzle. Well, I mean, it's a great pleasure because it's by the great Marty Sears. It's called Two Arrows and a TenLine, and this is a rarity on the channel these days. This is a genuinely approachable puzzle. We've had so many recommendations to try this. Apparently it is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it looks beautiful, but apparently the logic is beautiful, even though it is rated at just 1 star out of 5 for difficulty. It's an incredibly hard thing to do, to make a puzzle that people might finish in just a few minutes, but they still absolutely rave about. Definitely the trend in the world of Sudoku has been to the to increased complexity. Let's say it like that. I mean, I don't know how many videos over the last week or so have been 90 minutes or more for me. I'm hoping I'll get this one done more quickly. It's got a very simple rule set. There's a 10-line, unsurprisingly from the title, and 2 arrows. And that's basically going to be it. In fact, I know I'm meant to also be looking at another Marty puzzle, which has given our testers the most terrible time. They've been really struggling with it. It's called something like Yin Yang Yong or something. Yin Yang Yong. So there might be another Marty puzzle on the channel in due course. Anyway, but we'll look at this one. I'll read you the rules of this one in a moment or two's time. But before that, let me talk about some other things going on around the channel. Thank you very much if you joined us last night for the Blueprint stream. I won't spoil how we got on in case you want to catch up on the VOD. I will say that we didn't finish a day, and therefore I did spend some time this morning finishing the day that we were on. I won't tell you how long the video is. I won't tell you what I got up to, but I will tell you that that video will go on the channel probably if I get a chance to edit it at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning UK time. So if you are hungry for your next fix of blueprints, check that video out once it goes live. Now, the other big news, of course, is that yesterday was the 1st of December, and that means it's Patreon Reward Day. So we've launched a brand new competition called the Wind in the Willows. I just loaded this up. Blobs makes these sort of league tables for us, but when I launched the league table, it brought up all the solves. So you can see already 716 patrons have solved the first puzzle. It's phenomenal. 38 people have done all of them, and there are 13 puzzles. It's incredible. So if you want to help the somewhat short-sighted mole to find his advent calendar and have his adventures, do get involved in this. The feedback so far has been really good, so I think you'll enjoy it. You can see, if you're familiar with the book, some of these titles will mean a lot to you. And if you're Piper at the Gates of Dawn, if you're familiar with rock music, you might recognise that title too. And I'm delighted to let you in on a secret that last month's winner, Don, is keen to try and solve a puzzle with me. So we're going to arrange that in the coming days, and hopefully there'll be a bit of extra content there too. Now let's do some birthdays. Helena, over there in Brazil, your boyfriend Luca wrote to me and told me that you watch every day and you really love Killer Sudoku. I don't think we can qualify this one as a Killer Sudoku, but Helena, I hope you have a brilliant birthday today, and I hope the chocolate cake, if you can get hold of that, is festively iced, of course. The other birthday today, rather closer to home, is Zach. Zach, your flatmate Kai wrote to me to tell me that you watch the channel, and I think you're studying physics at Imperial College in London, so that's much nearer to me than Brazil. And you got into cryptic crosswords by doing the university crossword in the pub after jazz band rehearsals. It's perfectly acceptable, by the way. There is a whole host of people across the country who do crosswords in pubs. Very, very popular pastime, and there's an incredible overlap. If you were to draw a Venn diagram of sort of people who support CAMRA, the Campaign for Real Ale, and people who solve crosswords. It's basically the same set of people. Anyway, Zach, I hope you have a great birthday, and I hope you get down to the pub, and I hope there's a crossword or two in store, and of course some heavily iced chocolate cake. And I'm also going to congratulate, it's not a birthday, but I'm going to congratulate Martha over there in the Netherlands, who has just received her master's degree, cum laude, I will say, so with honours, while holding down several jobs at the same time, often concurrently. I mean, that is incredible, Martha. Well done, you. Martha's been watching the channel for a long time, since 2019, and I think has found it a way to sort of distract from, obviously, a very, very busy life. And Martha, all credit to you. I am delighted with your news, and thank you very much for sharing it with us. That's all the news. Let's have a look at Marty's puzzle. 2 arrows and a TenLine. These rules are not going to take long to read. We have got normal 6x6 Sudoku rules apply. So we've got to put the digits 1 to 6 once each in every row, every column, and every 2x3 box. The digits along a purple arrow sum to the digit in the attached circle. So if this was 1, 2, 3, 1 plus 2 plus 3, that would equal 6. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6, so that's what you'd write in the circle. And the grey line consists of numerous contiguous segments, each of which sum to 10. So imagine that was 1, 2, 3, 4. They sum to 10, so that would be a segment, and then a new segment would start here. Yeah, and Marty's going to do things like this, double 5, just because Marty finds it funny to find the most weird way of doing things, the way that you least expect it. And so basically the whole line has to be divided into those sorts of segments. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, my first thought here is Marty has given himself the opportunity to make this arrow silly, hasn't he? Normally, when you look at a 3-cell arrow, you would say, okay, you've got to have a few different digits on it, so you can pencil mark the arrow circle as being fairly high. But here, you could actually repeat a digit, and you could even repeat the digit 1. I don't know if that would interfere with the 10 sums somehow. In fact, yeah, okay. Yeah, so another thought, which is a different thought, but if you look at the TenLine, if you look at the whole TenLine and both the arrows, they cover the entire geometry of the grid. So I'm wondering if we have to do some maths, actually. Now, the secret is different today. Normally the secret, which is something I share with only my very favourite people, is 45, because in normal Sudoku, which has obviously the digits 1 to 9, every row, every column and every 3x3 box in normal Sudoku therefore has to sum to 45, the secret. But in this puzzle, that's not going to be the same, is it? Because we can only put the digits 1 to 6 in any row, column or box, and 1 to 6 sum to 21. So the whole of this grid sums to 6 lots of 21, which is 126. That's the bus I used to get on the way home from Beckenham Junction Station when I was a schoolboy. That bus was very, very unreliable, let me tell you. I wonder how many hours of my life I wasted waiting for a bus. It was a lot. Anyway, I've got distracted. So 126. So 126 is the sum of the entire grid. And from that total, we are deducting an even number, being the total for both, for these digits. Oh, that's a terrible colour. Those yellow cells, and let's make these orange. I know that the sum of the yellow digits is an even number. And the reason I know that is, imagine that this was x. Obviously now this arrow sums to x. So the total for those yellow cells is 2x, isn't it? It's going to be twice the value of the circle. And the same is going to be true there. Now that could be x as well, but let's just make it y for the sake of exposition. Then orange would sum to 2y. So in other words, orange plus yellow sums to 2x plus 2y, which is clearly an even total. It's 2 times x plus y. So what we've got to do is look at 126, deduct from it an even number, but subject to another condition, which is that the number we then get has to be exactly divisible by 10, because we know that is going to be incorporated on the TenLine, and obviously the TenLine is full of 10 segments. So I don't think, no, even if this was a nonsense arrow and these were 1, 2 and 3, then yellow would sum to 6 already, wouldn't it? So it's not possible for us to get to 120. We can't only be deducting 6 because y, the orange arrow, has to have some positive integers on it. So could we do 16? i.e. if yellow plus orange added to 16, would that work? And the answer is perhaps yes, because that would imply x plus y were equal to 8, which is very achievable. That's probably right, actually. So, okay, let's try and go bigger. So rather than deducting 16 from 126, if we deducted 26, which is the next way of getting to a total ending in 0, if we had deducted 26 from 126, what numbers would we put into the circles? These two, x plus y, would have to equal 13, wouldn't they? Because obviously each arrow is then, we multiply it by 2 in order to get to the 26, and x plus y would therefore equal 13. And that's impossible to do, because we haven't got big digits available today. We've only got little digits. So 6 plus 5, well, we could have had 6 and 6. So we can only just not do it, but we can't. So, okay, so what do we now know then? So now we know that these two circles add up to 8, and we know that the big line, therefore, it consists of 11 different segments, each of which sum to 10 to make 110. And these two sum to 8. So these two are either, well, we've got to be careful here, because Marty would find it funny for this to be double 4. No. Okay. No, actually, we can do this a different way. Yeah, that's beautiful. So we've worked out that the two circles sum to 8. So we know that the two arrows sum to 8. So now I want to just hone in on these digits. Oh, let's use green. What's the minimum total of those digits? Completely ignore the circles. Completely ignore mathematics. Just what are the minimum digits you could put in these? Well, I could put a 1 and a 2 in that row. I could put a 1 and a 2 in that row. And I guess I could put 2 1s into those cells without breaking Sudoku. Now, 1 and 2 sum to 3. So I've got 3 there, another 3 there for 6, 7, 8. That's the only way you can do it. So that is what we have to do. Now that's a 2 then by Sudoku, and that's a 2, and that's a 1, and that's a 1. Oh, Marty. So that's exactly right. So Marty, unsurprisingly, has made this arrow 3 1s adding up to 3, which makes this should be 5, and it is, because it's double 2 1. That's beautiful, isn't it? It's just gorgeous. Right, let's get rid of our colours then. I can see why this is popular. I mean, I'm not saying it's the most complicated puzzle we've ever seen, but it's just beautiful. Now, okay, so now we've got to be careful because we've got to make the whole line. We've got to be able to divide the line into segments. Yeah, I think I can do something there because these digits are 4, 5, 6, aren't they? Now, so that, well, in fact, look, Sudoku. Why don't I do Sudoku? That's going to be far easier. So now I've got a 4, 6 pair. So we should, when we find a 10 sum, we should probably mark it off. Now this digit by Sudoku is now a 3. These are 2, 4, and 6. Right. So how's this working? Well, I mean, the start of this line is going to have to be a 4, 6 pair, isn't it? Because if it isn't, what we could have a 6 and a 2, which for 8, but then we'd have to add another 2, and we would have a 4 here, so that won't work. Or we could have a 2 and a 4 for 6, and then we're adding a 6 to that. So again, we're missing out on a 10 sum. So this has got to be a 4, 6 pair leading into a 2. And that's actually really rather lovely, because now I get a 2, 3, and a 5. So that's another segment just automatically filled in. Okay, and therefore, where should we look now? There is a 5 in one of those cells by Sudoku. Yeah, I suppose these are from 4, 5, 6, aren't they? Because, oh, there's a spider on my screen. Hello. I don't know if you... No, you won't be able to see the spider. The screen recording will not include the spider, and the webcam will not see the spider that's just run up my screen. Anyway, there is definitely a 3 in one of these cells now, isn't there? Sorry, and how do I know these are from 4, 5, 6? I was asking where these 2 digits went in this box. These 2 digits are not 1s and 2s, are they? So they have to go there. So there is definitely a 3 up here. Okay. So this... Yeah. Okay, so here's a way of thinking about this. There might be a cleaner piece of logic, but let me explain how I'm thinking about it. Because I know there's a 3 in this domino, I know that this isn't a 2-cell segment that sums to 10. That's not going to work. Now, also, these digits don't include a 1 and a 2, do they? So the minimum these can be would be 3 and 4. So could this be a 4-cell segment summing to 10? No, because this digit is quite a big digit, so we'd be adding at least 7 to at least 4 for 11, and plus this digit, whatever that was. So it can't be a 4-cell segment. So all I'm going to say is it is a 3-cell segment. And probably the correct thing to do, well, given it's a 3-cell segment and one of the digits is a 3, the other 2 digits have got to add up to 7. And they can't be 3, 4, that would repeat the 3. They can't be 2, 5, that would repeat the 5. So they have to be 6, 1. So that is 1, 3, 6. And this digit, so this is a 4, this is a 6. The corner digit is now a 2 of all things. And the 1 in the 1, 3, 6 triple has to be at the top, actually. Sorry, I should have seen that instantly and failed. So we can do this. And therefore, well, these digits are 3, 4, 5. So probably we're going to repeat that trick again, are we? Yeah, we are. We are. I'm going to do exactly the same logic. I'm a creature of habit. Can this be a 2-cell segment summing to 10? No, the digits aren't big enough. Can it be a 4-cell segment summing to 10? No, those digits are then too large, because these are adding to 12 on their own, plus a 2 is 14. So it's got to be a 3-cell segment. Now, given we've got a 2 in the corner, that means these 2 have got to sum up to 8. And how are we doing that? that Sudoku is applying, so we can't do double 4, even though Marty would delight in trying to make us. So it's got to look like that. This is a 4 now, so that's a segment. We should definitely colour it in. Yeah, I see. Right, now this digit can't be 5, because 4 plus 5 is already 9, and we'd be adding 6 to it, so we couldn't make a 10 segment. So that's going to be 6. That's going to be 5. That's a new segment there. Probably we can write 1 by Sudoku of all things, and 5 and 3, and the top row's done by Sudoku. Marty, what are you doing, making me do Sudoku in your Sudoku puzzle? It's an outrage. Right, now we've got 5, 3, and that's got to be a 2. That's the only way that segment can work. Make that orange. So now we can clear up these digits. So this is a 4 or a 6. Okay, it must be finished, I think. So hang on, what's going on? We've gone 6, 4, 6, 5, 3, 2. Oh, and then it doubles back on itself. Yeah, so if this was 6, we'd have 6 plus 5 for 11. That won't work. So we've got to do 4 there. 4 plus 5 plus 1 is a lovely 10 sum. Then we've got 6. Now this can't be a 1, 3 segment to give us the extra 4 we need. Obviously it can't be double 2, so that's going to have to be 6, 4, and we can fill that segment in. I'm running out of colours here. I am actually running out of colours. I haven't used black. And then we've got 6, 6, 3, 4, 6 here. I mean, the puzzle is finished in terms of Sudoku. We've just got to check that, yeah, and the 10 sums work. Of course they work. We've got 2, 5, 3. That's one of them. I'm going to go to my extended palette. I've got brown. Then I've got a 6, 4. I'll use that one. That is a bit different. And then, of course, we've got the arrows, which are totally independent of the 10 lines. And that should be how to solve the puzzle, and that is incredibly enjoyable. Yeah, and it was a bit easier than sometimes, but how can anybody claim that is not a world-class puzzle? That is world-class, both in terms of its execution, its beauty, but also the amount of pleasure it gives you. It was just lovely to spend a few minutes in its company, and I enjoyed that mightily, as always, Marty. Thank you very much for setting yet another beautiful puzzle. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.